Hi you, and welcome to another video for the Temple of Cornwall. So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name's Rebecca and I'm the creatrix and mother priestess of the Temple of Cornwall, as well as a sacred celebrant, an oracle and a writer, in no particular order. So the Temple of Cornwall was just a little over a year old now. We celebrated our first birthday at Ostara this year, 2021, and we have so much amazingness planned for the future. We're always an ever-growing, ever-expanding temple. And this video is all about our sacred online spaces and how that kind of works in this modern age and how it will hopefully work in the future as well for us here at the temple. So why online? Why these spaces online? Short answer is because this temple was created during the first lockdown because of COVID here in the UK. So that was the only option, really. Yeah, that's the long and short of it. But it was, I wanted to create spaces that were accessible for as many people as possible, because this temple is deeply rooted in Cornish spirituality and the landscape and its spirit energies here. And there are so many people around the world that are connected with this land, whether through ancestry or just holidays or longings and yearnings and all these lovely things, that it would be a shame if the only way they could access the temple and its energies was a physical space. If that was the only way that they could come here, that would just be a real shame, because as somebody who grew up away from Cornwall, Manchester, if you can't tell from the accent, I would have really loved something like this when I was living in Manchester, to really connect me back in with Cornwall and its energies. So I get a lot of people asking, like, almost a bit rudely sometimes, like, why is it online? Like, it's not as sacred online. I respectfully disagree with you wholeheartedly. There is absolutely no reason why an online space can't be just as sacred or as moving as a physical space. Take, for example, the red tents that we hold here at the temple. The women that gather in those circles are there, even though you can't all hold hands around the circle and pass a flame around or share a real cup of tea together. The energies that are there are very real, and they're shared in this space that is created out of all of us. And it's very loving, supportive, and just awe-inspiring. So yeah, that if you're apprehensive about sacred online spaces, understandably, but there's no need to be at all. They're just as wonderful, just as lovely. Obviously, it'd be preferable to do all this in person, but whilst we can't, then there's no problem with that, because we've got plenty of online goodness for you as well. So in terms of a physical Temple of Cornwall, at the moment, this little thing back here behind those willow curtains, that at the moment is just in my office at home. And this is a space that is usually, like pre-Temple of Cornwall, was dedicated to my own personal spiritual practices. But now I've moved all that and changed it around. So this is just dedicated to the Temple of Cornwall. So that holds the energies and the workings there as well. And again, because of COVID, that I've not been doing any fundraising to create a physical temple, because I don't know, you don't know anything, but I don't have a firm grasp on when this will be reality, but I'm really excited for it to happen, hopefully in the next couple of years, I would say. I think we're going to be looking at pop-up temples this year, depending how coming out of lockdown goes. See, it's all gets so confusing. So I'm just winging it. So I'm dedicating to the online spaces right now, with about knee-deep in planning for physical spaces as well. So yeah, do keep an eye out for those. It is definitely coming. That's the end goal for me personally as the mother priestess for this temple, is to create that physical space as well as all these beautiful online spaces, so that whether you're near or far, you can connect in with these energies in a place that is held just for you, that is dedicated to the spirit of Cornwall, and however you want to worship it, and yeah, just be held in sacred space. So we have, so that was a really deep breath. So we have 2 dedicated online sacred spaces. The first one, and the easiest to access, the most accessible one for everyone, is our Facebook group. So this is the Temple of Cornwall Community Facebook group. I'll leave any links and everything in the description below this video as well. And this Facebook group, oh, I love it. We've got such a lovely little community of people. We share everything to do with Cornwall. If it's, I've gone on this really lovely walk, I want to share it with you guys, or if it's some really like abstract, esoteric knowledge that is really specific to a part of Cornwall, oh, it's just amazing. I do sometimes do like surprise lives in there, and I say surprise because it's just me. The surprise is me. And these lives vary in what we do, but they're always fun. It's such a supportive, friendly, loving community to be in. Obviously it's free because it's Facebook. There's a couple of questions that you have to answer when you get, you asked to join, but they're dead easy. They should be a yes anyway, to be honest. It's not that difficult. And this is, I just love it. I'm really proud of the little community that we've built up there. It's really brings a lot of love into my heart. It just fills me with a lot of happiness. And this is also a great place to go and ask your questions as well, if it's perhaps a question that it's just something that you're really unsure of, or it's something to do with Cornwall, whether generally or spirituality. You can ask it in there as well. If you're planning a holiday here or a pilgrimage, ask in there for the places to go, because my God, the amount of knowledge that this community has and the people in it it's amazing. It astounds me. So yeah, do go and check out the Facebook group as well if you want to be part of our little community. I do always give lots of sneak peeks in there as well. So like new offerings, the group tends to get like the first look at those things as well, and like first dibs. So do go and check that out. The second online space we have is the Patreon for the Temple of Cornwall. And this has taken a lot of fine tuning, but I'm very happy with where it's at right now. So for those of you who don't really know what Patreon is, it's a site where you can like subscribe for a different monthly fee to lots of different content creators, I suppose, if you wanted to. But in terms of the Temple of Cornwall, we have 4 different tiers that you can subscribe to, all for a different price point, and for each tier you get slightly different things as well. And I'll run you through those in a second. So the first tier that we have is Men and Toll, named after the lovely little stone. It's not really a stone circle, well, it is a stone circle. You'll know if you know. It's a lovely sacred site here in Cornwall that's all to do with healing children or your inner child wound. It's a really great place to connect in with your inner child, or bring your actual children. Back in the day, children would get christened or named in ceremony by being passed through the hole in the stone at Men and Toll. So that's always really lovely. So this tier is £1 a month, and for that you get automatically enrolled into our weekly healing live streams. So we have, let me find it. This is my little healing book for the temple. So in here are all the names of the people that are either automatically enrolled for whatever reason, or have requested it throughout the week. So if you don't know, it's Sunday. Yes, every Sunday at 4 p.m. I go live back there in the little temple energy space, and I live stream healing directly to you. Obviously you can come on the live stream and watch and comment there. And every Saturday I do put a post up reminding people to drop me their DMs or to comment on that post if they want their name going in the book for the healing. But understandably, that can be a bit of a chore, is a big word for it, but it can be a bit of a chore if you have to remember every week, oh, okay, she puts that post out on Saturday, so I need to go remember to find that. But now it's Sunday and oh my God, it's nearly 4. What do? I don't have time to join the live. It can be a whole big thing, really. Doesn't have to be. So for £1 a month is obviously a donation to the temple. It's always really appreciated, however much or little you perceive it to be. And that money, it just helps to support the temple. It helps to support our dreams, and also any offerings that we currently have and are looking at offering as well, which again, really exciting. So yes, the healing, I'm probably going to do a whole different video on the healing as well whilst I'm starting off on this YouTube journey for the temple. So yes, if you do have any questions about the healing, drop it in the comments below and I'll answer them. But yeah, so that Men on Toll, £1 a month, and you get, I mean, most months are 4 weeks, aren't they? So you get 4 or 5 healing sessions distance every month there, which is amazing. And you don't have to bother then with remembering to find the post and comment or drop me a DM, but it's just done. You don't have to worry about it at all. So the next tier up is the Merry Maidens, and I love this one. So Merry Maidens is, again, lo and behold, a sacred stone circle here in Cornwall, a beautiful one. And this is £5 a month. And for this, you get obviously all the healing that the previous tier had, but you also get a collective tarot card reading for the month ahead as well. So say, for example, this month as I'm filming is April. On the 30th of this month, our Patreon supporters of that tier and upwards will get May's tarot card reading then. And it's, when I say collective, I don't mean the great big grand collective of humanity. I mean the community of our Patreon supporters of that tier and upwards. So that's, it's not specific to you, but it's very specific to the community and the energies that they're bringing, but it's still about your personal life, if that makes sense. For those of you who do collective readings, it will make sense, I'm sure. But it's more, what are the individuals in this group? How is their month going to pan out on average? It's never, you know, oh, humanity as a collective is processing this and that. So it's very specific to you and the community that you're a part of here at the temple as well. And these, I love these readings. They're always so longer than I think they will be when I'm writing them and channeling them. They're always a lot longer than I think they will be, which is good for you. You get a lot of bang for your buck there. But they're so insightful. I mean, obviously, because it's a tarot reading, but they're so on point. It's, yeah, I get a lot of good feedback about these tarot readings. People try and plan certain things around them sometimes, like if somebody's moving house, that they'll try and move house at like a particular time that won't interfere with the energies of that week in whatever month it is. So yeah, that's a really nice thing to be a part of. So then we have Lamorna. This is the next tier up, and this is £15 a month. So Lamorna is a beautiful, very unique little cove here in Cornwall. It was actually home to a lot of amazing, brilliant artists in the, I'm going to say, first half of the last century, around the middle of last century. And it's, yeah, if you've never been, do go. It's spectacular. And the little cafe do amazing cream teas. Just a little tip for you there. So anyway, Lamorna Patreon tier. So this is £15 a month. So for that £15, you get all the healing sessions of the previous tiers. You get the collective tarot reading as well. And you also get a totally unique guided meditation every month. This can only be found through Patreon. Every once in a while, and I mean like maybe once a year, if that, I will make one of these guided meditations public, but that's very rare. It's got to be a big thing for me to do that. These can only be found through here, even in try to think of where I do other like unique guided meditations. The priestess training, the priestess training, the meditations that you get with that are totally unique, but there is no crossover either. So if you're doing the training and do a £15 tier Patreon supporter, the twine shall never mix. You will always get a completely unique guided meditation. And these, I love doing these guided meditations. They're always so much fun. The creativity that goes into them, I love it. So we've had loads of different ones in the past, and I do take requests as well, because, you know, at the end of the day, this is the Temple of Cornwall community. You're what makes this work in the lovely way that it does. So I want to help you guys. So if you're having maybe some, I don't know, heart chakra blockages that you want to release in a meditation, I can write one like that for the Patreon tier. If you want to like unfurl your golden angelic wings, I can do that for you. Anything, I can really help you guide you with that. I'm really quite adept at writing and guiding people through guided meditations. So yeah, this is something that I'm really proud of. And the fact that I can offer so many completely unique and individual, and it's always around subjects that you wouldn't quite expect as well. So I've got, again, back of this little book, I've got like my little list of ideas. Let me find them. Yeah, so many. It's like some of my favourite ones is being like the huntress of or the hunter of creativity, like finding your well of creativity and cleaning it, going into your still point, so your womb or lingam energetic space there. Ooh, Cornish cliffs being a liminal space, Ceridwen's called, oh, there's just so much there, so much. And these are, again, once a month that you get these, and that they're yours to do what you want with. It's just a private YouTube link that I send you on Patreon, and it's there to do what you want with. Only you have access to it. Only the people of that tier and higher have access to it. Yeah, it's just yours to enjoy for as long as you want. Obviously, you can download it if you've got a YouTube Pro, I think, but that's up to you. So the next and final tier for our Patreon is Tintagel. Obviously, my much beloved Tintagel, with the most amazing fudge and sweet shop you have ever known. Just while we're on the topic of Lamorna and its cream teas, Tintagel and its fudge. Oh my God. But yes, Tintagel is a £35 a month tier. And for that, you obviously get the healing from the first tier, the tarot readings from the next one, the guided meditations from the one before that. And then finally, a unique channeled message that is just for you, not for the collective this time, just for you. So for every individual person who is a Patreon of our Tintagel tier, you will get your own unique channeled message. So if there's 5 of you, I'll be doing 5 channeled messages for you that month. Not per person, for each one of you. Be 1 a month for you. So when again, could be a whole different video, which I won't bore you with right now, but these channeled messages, or oracling, whatever word you prefer, if it's me channeling for myself, I tend to channel the spirit of Cornwall or an aspect of the spirit of Cornwall. So say like Morgana Le Fay or Kerr or the Cornish Knockers, something like that. But when I'm channeling and oracling for other people, ooh, it's amazing the different energies that come through. In the past, I've had things that I wasn't even aware of really, or wasn't really connected to on a personal level, but I am but a vessel for what energies need to communicate with you. So in the past, we've had like our star being ancestors. They came through for a very lovely woman. We've had deities. We've had Odin. That was so much fun. Oof, Odin was a good one. We've had, I'm trying to think now, Ceridwen. Oh, lovely Ceridwen again. Intense Lilith. Oh my goodness. And it ranges from whether it's gods and goddesses, spirit beings, and I don't mean I can channel the voice of like your great nan, because that's, I think I've done that once, and it's not something I would ever charge people for, because I'm not trained in it, so why would I? But this is, yeah, it's really good. The spirit guides as well that are around you, ancestors of time, of place, of blood and bone. It's really lovely, and it will vary every month somewhat how it arrives to you. So 9 times out of 10, when I channel, it's writing. So like you will get like a PDF document with the, you know, everything typed out, what the being was, what the spirit energy was, and what they had to say to you. But sometimes it's pieces of artwork. Sometimes it's, when I say artwork, don't get too excited, it's like little daubs of watercolorings and different shapes, and very Picasso-esque, but that makes it sound a lot grander than it is. But yeah, sometimes it'll be artwork, sometimes it's poetry, sometimes it's vocal, sometimes it's just chanting or singing, sometimes it's movement, and sometimes it's a whole essay, sometimes it's a sonnet, sometimes it's 1 word, sometimes it's just do it, go for it. And this is, oh, I love this. Is one of my favourite things to do as a priestess, is oracling. So I love that I get to offer this to you as well. And for those of you who do tune into the healing lives or have ever at any point, you'll know that a lot of channeling happens in those healing sessions as well. It's not just, here's a lovely ball of healing energy, here you go, which there's nothing wrong with, but there's also a lot of guidance that comes through there as well. And that obviously comes through a lot stronger and a lot heavier, I suppose, a lot more yeah, a lot quicker, more intensely in the channeled messages. So yeah, so just to run back over quickly, Men and Toll, £1 a month, healing sessions every week. Merry Maidens, £5 a month. You get the healing and a Patreon collective tarot reading for the month ahead. Lamorna, the next tier up, is £15 a month, and for that you get the healing, the tarot reading, and a very unique guided meditation once a month. And at the Tintagel tier, which is £35 a month, you get the healing, the tarot reading, and the guided meditation, and a individual channeled message for you from whichever being needs to come through. There is links to the Patreon and obviously the Facebook group I was talking about before in the description below as well. And I think that's it. Potentially one of the shortest videos I've ever done. Very proud of myself. So if you have any questions about anything that I've mentioned, either drop it in the comments below or find me on any of the other social medias and DM me. Okay, everyone? Thank you so much for joining me, and blessings to you all.